Hello, hi, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, morning, sir.
One thing is, I'm not, sir. Can we request this DDA department to not have this security style of getting in? Because we almost wasted our 20 minutes today in just getting in. I went multiple couple of times to the finance lecture of third semester, half of it. DDA department, sir.
Yes, good morning. Suryakant Singh, Mr. Suryakant Singh. Actually, what happened? No, first year students, there are a lot of students. So when they entered, there was some technical issue. That's why this happened. So in future, this will not happen. I'll also communicate the same to the admin. All right. So we'll
Thank you,
start
sir.
our today's session. Okay. Good morning, all. Hope my screen is visible to you. I'm audible, well audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Okay. So what we are okay. I am Dr. Arag Raja. I am company secretary by profession. I love teaching, so I am into teaching. All right. So now we have been given this particular subject called strategic management of the second semester MBA all programs. So what we are going to do is that actually this interaction is called as a personal contact program. So throughout your fourth semester,
सौ एवरेज रही છે ओवरऑल इन्वॉल्वमेंट देखिए
Ah, yeah.
okay, I request everyone to mute your audio so that it doesn't disturb others. All right. Okay. Throughout the semester, we have only personal contact program. The main objective of this personal contact program is to clarify the doubt, because the students are given the books in the beginning of the semester only. You will be going through the various subjects, pages, chapters. So you must have encountered a lot of critical doubts. So that you can discuss with us.
sir.
Sorry.
Sir, books were given only last week.
Okay. Let me complete. Thank you. Thank you. So the books are also available at the same time in the website, right? If you go to Pondicherry University Directorate of Distance Education student portal, all the study materials are available. So the main objective is this. That's why we are given only 6 weeks time. 6 hours are given to complete the entire books. So the faculties might go a little faster, right, in completing the portions. In sometimes faculties might not discuss certain important areas also. So what is important is that you have to pay full attention in the class, and then after finishing the session, you should also go through the textbook. If any chapter is missed, you can bring it in the next class and then discuss with the concerned faculty, and it will be brought, it will be elaborated in the consecutive classes. So now let us start our subject, strategic management. I always ask first question, why do we need to study this particular subject at MBA second semester, right? In MBA, why this strategic management? Always ask this kind of question so that you will get an interest. Because in up to college levels, we have studied so much, but we do not know the relevance of such subject, and sometimes some of the subjects are not useful for us in the present day context. So but these subjects which are built up on your these things, right, on your MBA, are very much useful subjects. So only when you get interest, you will be able to participate in the subject, and you will be able to think, and this thinking capability will help you to solve the case study problem, which is 20 marks, right? So let us understand what is the strategy. You can say strategy, when you are in a critical situation, right? Critical situation, when you have to take decision. Say for example, you're running two business. COVID happened, right? COVID happened, worldwide lockdown. Now what will you do? You have employees, you have to pay salary, right? Whether you're running your company or not, it is immaterial. You have to pay back your interest and loan, and then you have to pay utility. like a gas bill, electricity, petrol, rent, all that bills you have to pay. So how will you manage the situation? So you have to make the strategy. Basically, when you have a limitation, when you have a constraint, you have to take a decision, right? Taking decision making or decision making under constraint is called as a strategy. So how the strategies are managed within the organization is called as a strategic management. So what are the content of this a textbook includes concept of corporate strategy. What is a corporate strategy? How this corporate strategy, the components of corporate strategy, all that we are going to discuss in the first chapter. The second chapter, we are going to discuss about the environmental analysis. What is this environmental analysis? Environmental means when we take a decision, we should not take a decision on our own. We have to see during the COVID what happened. There are companies were coming up in the television and social medias. They were coming up and saying that they have paid so much salary, they have given 50% salary. So you see what is happening around. Your strategy is necessarily depends on both internal and external. So see, observe the environment and then you make your strategy, because how they are doing. See, when you are competing in a competition, or when you are writing your exam in MBA, you see network and then ask, how did you write your exam, how was the paper. So whatever the strategy of other people, that also you will incorporate when you make your own strategy. So that is what we are going to talk about: internal and external strategies, various strategic tools we are going to talk about in this second chapter. Third chapter, we will be talking about how to formulate your strategy. Formulation means what are the key aspects that in the second chapter what we have discussed, that external and internal environment is there. So various tools and techniques which are used to formulate the strategy, that we will be discussing. There are so many tools are there, like a SWOT analysis, gap analysis, tools analysis, right, and Porter 5 analysis. Like that, various tools are there. All those tools and techniques we'll be discussing in this third chapter. Fourth chapter, functional strategy. What is a functional strategy? So in the first 3 units, we'll be talking about as a whole, organization as a whole. For the entire organization, we'll be making a strategy. But when it comes to one particular branch, right, or one particular company, it has several departments, like a purchase department, or acquisition department, research and development, sales department, marketing, finance, various departments are there. So each department, what kind of strategy they have to do it, right? What kind of strategy they have to formulate it, how each department, how the strategies are helpful in each specific department, that we will be discussing how to formulate, and the benefits of a functional strategy. Say, for example, in a case of a finance department, lead and lag function is very, very important strategy. What is a lead and lag function? So when you are a finance finance person, what we have to do, we have to delay in repaying the money, right? When you delay in repaying the money and quickly you get back your money from your debtors, then these are considered as a strategy. Why? When you get back, see, when your money is supposed to come after 2 months, and when you motivate, you talk to them and you get it back in 1 month, then you can have more working capital within the organization. So this strategy is helpful for finance function. So similarly, HR function, when somebody is giving you resignation in your in a critical situation of a project, or critical situation of a organization, so in that case, what will you do? You have to pursue the employee, that whatever is your problem, everybody is facing, that leaving the organization at this particular time is not only going to difficult for you, but your reputation also gets spoiled. The company is fighting back, you should also fight back with the company, and then when company earns, obviously it will give back to you only. So the persuasion will helps the employee to retain, right? And then strategic implementation, the last stage, whatever we have done, right, when it comes to reality, it is like a planning. We can do planning, budgeting, but in reality we don't go exactly, right? So that is why the problem. So when we implement, there are a lot of lacunas, there are a lot of gaps are there. So these gaps, how we have to take it as a learning, learning, and then we have to incorporate these corrections in the forthcoming strategy, and then we have to create our own, right? So this is what is the content of the subject. And then now what we are going to do, I have prepared one PPT. The PPT I will be sharing at the end of this lecture. End of the sixth lecture I will give you, so that time we will go. If you have a doubt, ask me then and there. Otherwise, you can ask me at the end also. Okay, let us understand what is a strategic management. Strategic management is a discipline that deals with the long-term development of an organization with a clear-cut vision about organizational purpose, scope of activities, and objective. I'll give you a simple example. There are some people who are already working in an organization. There are some who are pursuing, along with your other courses, right, for your betterment. So now, one simple question that I ask you: why do you want to do MBA? Why do you want to do an MBA when you are already in a job, right? When you are already in a job, when you are already in undergoing another course, why do you need an additional course? The question is that the answer for this question is that it is a strategy. What is the strategy? Sir, there are a lot of my friends who are already working, but they are not pursuing any further degree. If I do another additional degree, if I acquire, what will happen? I have already a bachelor degree. I am having experience. Now, if I have my master degree, I can request for a promotion within the organization, or I can look for a shift from one company to another company. So now what we are talking about, it is a discipline that deals with the long-term development, right? Your 2-year course is going to be helpful to you for the life long-term. Long-term means what? Now, immediately you will not get a result, a return, right? After having your experience, for say, for example, 5 years experience with a master degree, you can do what? That too in a reputed university, central university, then you can apply for other companies also. And that means what? How did you decide all these things? Because you already have a clear-cut vision. What is the vision? Why do you want to study? In what way this MBA is going to be helpful? What is your objective? Right? Everything is defined in the case of strategic management. So strategic management deals with the long-term organization goal, purpose, scope of activities, and objectives. So according to Chandler, what is strategic management? The definition of strategic management, it goes like this: determination of the basic long-term goals and objectives of an enterprise, an adoption of course of action, and allocation of resources necessary to carry out these goals. I told you an example about this COVID situation, right? Lockdown, you have to manage your finance, but you don't have enough money. So during that time, what you have to do? You have to think about allocation of resources, right? It is not only deals with the long-term goals and objectives, but also allocation of resources necessary to carry out these goals, right? See, many times what happened, we have registered for a course, but what is the problem? We don't do any steps, right? Steps to achieve this. Say, for example, you are having online classes for doubt clearing. You have sessions are going on, 8 weeks. We have scheduled these sessions. If you are not participating, if you are not having enough time to prepare on your own, then you will not be able to attain your objective. So that is the reason why you have to also allocate certain time for achieving your objective. That is also required. So now come back to the company. So your company, you have started a company. So same example we'll take. You have started a company, is a small company. Now your long-term vision is to make it as a global business, right? Global business. So for that, what you have to do, you have to grow. You have to see what the companies are doing, what are the opportunities we have in the market, to, we have to explore the opportunities and then make use, implement, right? So if you want to explore, you're exploring that you need a more capital, right? More capital, what are the different ways in which you can raise capital? We can get, local market, you can get it, the domestic market, you can get it raised from internal resources like retained earnings, all that you can do it, right? You can accept deposits from the members and public. In case if you are a public company, you can accept from both members and public. In case if you are a private company, you can accept deposits only from the members. And then in case if you are going in a domestic market, you can get equity shares, preference shares, debenture, bond, all that you can issue, get it. In case if you are going to the foreign external commercial borrowings, right? And then foreign currency convertible bond, foreign currency exchangeable bonds, all that, right? IDR, GDR, Indian depository receipt, global depository, all that you can get it. But after getting it, how are we going to allocate the amount? In India, say for example, you are starting your branch in Singapore and Canada, the currency fluctuation is there. So how are you going to allocate? You have raised your fund, how are you going to allocate? So it is deals with strategic management, deals with long-term objective, vision, mission, goal, everything of an organization, alongside allocation of necessary resources, whatever necessary resources are required, that you have to arrange, allocate in such a way so that all the goals are attained. Best example, we can say, you have to run both the company, you got less money, will you do that? Will you see that you will give only one company, other company you will make it suffer? No, you have to divide, like in a financial management, you must have heard a concept called capital rationing, right? You have to proportionately give to both the companies so that both the companies are in operation, right? So that is what we are talking about. Okay, so now what is the strategic management? The entire chapter is being given in this one particular chart, right? The whole chapter, if you understand the chart, you will be able to understand the entire subject, excluding the tools and techniques, right? Now what is happening, whenever we talk about a strategy, you want to start a business, you take a simple example, you want to start a business. When you want to start a business, you have to do what? You have to do the environmental scanning. What is environmental scanning? You have to perform external audit. What is the opportunity? How people are getting rich? How people are managing their own businesses? Which is more in demand? Which business is more in demand? That you have to perform. Then you have to see what are the qualities I have. Correct? Now you have seen your friend, your neighbor is earning a lot of money, right? Suddenly he has got, in a short while he got his car, he purchased a big house and all that. Now you are seeing that how he has become super rich. You will inquire, right? You will inquire. When you inquire, what do you come to know? He is investing in the market, stock market. Also, he is running his own business. So what happened? Initially, he was working in an organization, and then eventually, whatever savings he had, he started his business, and then he is also investing in the stock market. So now you have seen external. Now you are going to check: do I have the caliber to invest in a stock market? Will I be able to manage? Will I be able to manage? All that you have to, all this question you will ask. Yes, you can, you will be able to manage. The second question, you will talk about the business. Will I be able to start business? Do I have that caliber? Do I have that caliber? And also, if I start a business, right? If I start a business, where will I get the finance? Where will I get the finance? So that question also comes to us, right? All this you have to address in the case of a external audit. Internal and external audit you have to perform. That means scanning the environment. What is there inside out? You have to do that. The next step comes Strategy formulation. What is the formulation? Develop a vision and mission. See, starting a business, sometimes it's easy because you get the fund. Various funds are available in the market, right? If you go to the bank, we have lot of prime minister, yojanas, prime minister funds, like mudra loan. So many things are there. This small, medium sector banks are there. Everywhere you'll be able to get the loan provided you fulfill their criteria. But after getting fund, what are you going to do? Is it only starting a business your objective, or to make your business global? To make our business global, that is what is the objective, right? So you have to have a long term vision and mission, right? Long term vision and mission. So now the next, after framing this one, we have to have long-term objective, then generate strategy. So when you want to generate a strategy, when you want to start a business, right? Starting a business, and you should also immediately what we do, though we are copying others, though we are taking sample from others, what we think, we have to become super fast, super rich as compared to your, from the person to whom you have inspired, that most of us have. We start something. See, somebody who is starting the business, become the rich over a period of time. When you see, you wanted to do in 1 year time, that is not going to happen, right? So that is why when you do the strategy, you have to look at what is outside opportunity, inside opportunity, and then you have to develop vision, mission, objective, and then you have to start your strategy. After making is formulating the strategy, what we have to do, we have to implement means what? You are going to activate, your strategy, you are going to face the situation, right? So that is what is the implementation strategy. How what is the procedure, right? What are the lacunas are there, what difficulties you might encounter while implementing a strategy. All that we will be talking in the case of a fourth and fifth chapter, the last chapter, strategy evaluation. So strategic evaluation means what? You have formulated the strategy, implemented the strategy. Now you are checking whether you have attained your goal, whether you have attained your goal. If yes, then you have to go in the same, but you have to keep watching from the beginning again. Even if you are successful, you have to see what is the strategy your competitors are doing, the external scanning. Then you have to do whether your performance is same, whether you have any gap to allow your competitor to surpass your position. That also we need to check. So strategic evaluation, not only the positive things, some many a times we get negative. What is the negative? There is a gap. When you have a gap, that gap you have to identify and make a corrective steps to remain competitive in the markets, right? If you fail to do that, then what will happen? You will face problem. So they've given the example of corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility, when it comes, how this corporate social responsibility example they've given, but I have given you an example. When you start a business, what are the steps you will do? Correct? Okay. The next one we are going is the strategic leadership, right? Strategic leadership. Because in MBA means managing the business, managing the human, managing the finance, everything is managing only. So you have to be a leader. So who is the strategic leader? A manager's potential to articulate the strategic vision for the organization. The first one is you have to articulate the organization vision, right? First, you have to be in a position to articulate the vision for the organization and to motivate, guide, and influence his subordinates to attain the objective of the vision. So there are three components. One is the ultimate one is you have to attain the organization goal, right? The long-term objective. How to achieve? You cannot do it because you are a leader. So you have to get the things done from the others, right? You have to get the things done through others. So when you have to done through others, what we have to do? we have to motivate them, you have to guide them, you have to influence them. Then only you can do. So for that, what you have to do, you have to have a vision. As a strategic leader, you should frame the vision and communicate the same with the employees and subordinates. When you communicate, then you are considered as a effective strategic leader. Strategic leadership can also be defined as utilizing strategy. What is a strategy? What you have framed in the management of employee. How these strategies are being communicated to the employees, and with the help of the employee, how you are in return attaining the organization goal is considered as a leadership, strategic leadership. What are the purpose of a strategic leadership? Strategic productivity. You can increase their productivity with the constraint of time, working hours, and salary, and number of employees. Generate an environment in which employees match the organization needs in context of their individual job. Instill confidence to the employees in an organization to follow their own ideas. That means what? Strategic leader also get inputs from whom? From the employees. So when you do that, you are also motivating them. Yes, you can also contribute for the betterment of the company. So that is what is called as a workers participation. In HRM, there is a concept called workers participation. That means what? Whenever you are taking a strategic decision or strategic move, you're also making the employees participate in an organization. So the practical difficulties of implementing a strategy. Functions and importance of strategic leader. What are the functions and importance? See, whatever we have seen in this part, everything comes in this other side. He's a navigator, he's a strategist, he's an entrepreneur, and he's a mobilizer of fund, talent advocate, captivator, global thinker, change driver, enterprise, guardians, etc. So here they have given one example. What is an example? Here they have given the a professional, right? How a leader can perform the functions in the organization, strategic function in the organization. See, usually if you are at the KMP level, like a director, company secretary, chairman, and all those things, you will give advice. And then communication with the various stakeholders, flawless disclosure and reporting, and then management of board meeting and committees for the company secretary, compliances, and then representation. So when you are joining as a key managerial personnel, you have to perform all these functions. The next one, we are moving on to the strategic planning. So whenever we talk about management, planning is the first function. Whenever we talk about the managing the resources, first we have to plan. What is the planning? We have to see what are we having with us. Whether we have enough resources, we have to plan. How much time does it take to complete this a target? Now we have to have a target. So this planning is basically a budgeting or pre-thinking. Pre-thinking is considered as a planning. So strategic planning in an organization process of defining a strategy or direction and making decision on allocating its resources to pursue this strategy. See, again, what they're talking about, planning means process of defining what we have, where we want to go, right? And then how are we going to reach? What are the difficulties we might encounter? All that question, along with that allocation of its resources to pursue this strategy. It may also extend to control mechanism for guiding the implementation of the strategy. Why this control technique comes? Why this control technique comes here? We always have twin function, right? Or twin brothers, twin functions, in call it anything. In MCOB, you must have come across Twin brothers means what? Planning and control. Planning and control. What is the difference between planning and control? Planning means looking forward, control means looking backward. That is what. So when you talk about planning, there is you should also think about the control. That means what? How you have come from here A to B, right? You should also think sometime from B to A. Why? Because when you are in after attaining the result, you have to look at how you have started, where did you go wrong, where did you go wrong. So that is also an important element you should consider when you are doing strategic planning. So you can just go through again. It's a process of defining the organization objective, strategy, vision, mission, everything, with allocation of resources and control mechanism for guiding and implementing of the strategy. The concept of strategic planning gained prominent in strategic management in corporate sector in 1960s, and it has mentioned its importance in the contemporary times too. So strategic management, we think, is a new term. It's applicable only for MBA and all those things, but the strategic management, in fact, it is not the new term for India. We have started in the year 1960s itself. What are the benefits of strategic planning? Improved results and confidence. And then it makes you focus. When you do planning, you know exactly how much time you required. Now you see that your exam is approaching, you got 1 month time, for example, right? You got 1 month time for preparation. So for 1 month time to complete 5 or 6 subjects is might be difficult. But if you are attending this online sessions, you'll be able to get some ideas. With that ideas, if you go through the textbook, it will be easy for you to complete the portion. So you'll be able to focus. Yes, I got less time and I have to focus. And then problem solving. So whatever problem when you plan, you'll be able to solve. You will be able to get teamwork, communication, improved communication, greater control when you do the planning. When you identify finance is a constraint, when you identify you have a time is a constraint, so you'll be able to control how you can save time, how you can, where you can save money, that you can do it. Say for example, you got enough time, you don't have money, you have to send some parcel. Which option you will do? Because you have enough time, you will send your personnel to send personally, or you will send by postal. You will send it by postal. On the other side, you have enough money but you don't have a time. What will you do? You will send it by a courier, speed post, all that you will do, right? Greater control happens when you have constraint how you can manage the resources. Okay, limitation of strategic planning. This is a very common limitation. Just think about it. Anything you plan, we are planning so many things in our day to day life. Is it coming true? No. Many times it doesn't come true. Why it is not coming true? Because we have a constraint. What is a constraint? Cost and development of a poor plans. Anything we plan, we don't have a proper planning means what? You have to consider environmental both environment right? Both the environment you have to take into consideration before you plan. Are we doing like that? We only wish what we wanted, but how to attain that we don't never plan. So that is why our plans are not getting realized. Cost can overweigh benefits, right? When you are doing strategic planning, you have to appoint a strategic leader. You have to plan, you have to implement, all that is happening, but outcome when it comes, it is not as you expected. And implementation is also another difficulty. If not implemented properly, then whatever plan you have done, it is waste of time and energy and cost. right? So this next one we are going to talk about Porter 5 forces. What is this Porter 5 forces? When you are entering into market or you are an existing, a competitor, right? Existing businessman. What are the difficulty you will face? What are the forces, right? Porter 5 forces means what are the forces are there in the market, right? So that is what is this model talks about. And Porter is a professor in Harvard Business School. His full name is Michael Porter. What did he bring? Porter 5 focus model is an analysis tool that use 5 industry forces to determine the intensity of competition in an industry and its profitability level, right? See, when you are starting a business, you have to look at the outside. What are the outside? You have to see what are the new entrants, what are who will be your target competitor, from where you are going to buy, and who are going to buy from you, where you are going to buy, and is there any substitute? Because what is the problem? You take an example of a mobile phone. You take a mobile phones, right? There are so many substitutes. Before you were going and talking about the features, right? Now if you want, you fix the price. You say that I want a mobile phone for rupees 2000 and you get the mobile phone. So substitutes are there. If you are going for the features, same features, it's available at what price? 2000 rupees. Before they were talking about only features. For all these features, if you want a camera quality, you want this, you want that, then the price is what? 40,000, 50,000. But now it is ulta because it is substitutes. And this all these things you have to look at when you are entering as a newcomer. But you are already in a business, you are already in the market. Now, what are the problem? Again, if you make some gap, what will happen? Your competitor will take that position. They will become this. It's called as a niche, right? Yeah. Niche means what? Niche market means is a gray market where the gap is there. Nobody has explored that. Your competitor, you are allowing the other person to be your competitor, right? So you are, when you are in a market, you have to see who are all your new entrants, and is there any substitutes? If there is a substitute, immediately, developing country like India, what happens? They look for price over the quality. Price over the quality. Many a times when you want to buy something, you don't look at the quality alone. Initially, we do worry about the quality, but when the price is too much, what do? We sacrifice and then we go for the price. Now, say for example, if you want to buy an Apple mobile, right? Initially, what is your plan? Apple mobile. You look at the features, you do a lot of analysis, everything, and you look at the price, then you come to Android. Correct? Because of the what? Substitute products. So when new entrants, you also have a problem of a substitute products. On the other side, when you have a when you have a existing, your suppliers are keep watching you. Your suppliers are watching you. See, he is getting it a very low price and he is becoming super rich than me. Then he will say that he will increase his price, right? And the supplier will say, if you are not giving me a good price, that I will not supply you. And supply of a raw material is an important function in a production. So if you are not satisfying your supplier, then he will stop supplying the goods to you. And on the other side, you have compensated all these things. You have taken care of the new entrant. You have also made sure that no substitute products because of your quality, and then bargaining power of suppliers you have satisfied. Now the next problem is bargaining power of a buyer. You should also think about the buyers. If the buyers are not getting satisfied, the problem, what will be the problem? They will not buy you the product. So without buyer, you are beggar only, right? You are beggar only. So buyers are the king in the market. If king is not there, the businessmen are beggar only because they cannot sell anything. And then the last one, rivalry among the existing competitor. What happened? All the existing businessmen in the market, they will keep looking. As you look at these four factors, everybody keep looking at the other factors, and then they keep changing the strategy. So from this, what we have understood, strategy, though it is a long term, it is dynamic in nature, right? Say for example, you are going for an example, very simple example, you are going for an example 3 hour, you are prepared well, you are going to the examination, but you see the questions are very difficult. Half an hour you are wasted, now you got only 2 hours 30 minutes. Now whatever strategy you have made for 3 hours, you have to implement it in how many hours? 2.5 hours. So that means you have to alter your strategy to fit in 2.5 hour exam time. So similarly, in the Porter 5 forces, whatever strategy, long-term goals you have fixed, whatever long-term goals you have fixed, but when it comes to implementation, you have to see what wherever there is a alteration required, you have to do the necessary alteration corrections, and then you have to implement it. All right. Hope you could follow the session, and we will see you tomorrow. And if you need any changes in the teaching pedagogy, please let me know. Then I can change. Right. This is the way I will be taking because I'm little fast. I understand, but I have to complete so much of portion. Right. So that is fine.
Sir, one thing.
Yes.
Sir, I was trying to find these points which you were covering in the book so that I
Yes.
can study in more elaborative way, but
Yeah.
I did not find these points.
I'll tell you one thing. Uh, Altaf, good thing that you have done. See what I have done. These notes I've taken from the standard textbook, like CA strategic management, CA strategic management, and all those things. In our study material, what they have done, they have given it in a different chapters. They've given it in a different chapters. So what I will do after completing the first chapter, I will take you through the study material, and I will make sure that whatever we have discussed is there in the textbook, right? I'll do the mapping because this is from the standard book, which has more information than the study material. Our objective is to cover the study material, but I'm giving little more information to make you understand.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay.
So
Thank
if you
you.
also
See
can,
you.
if it's possible for you, you can just go through once the textbook as well on online lecture. Like just give us like some important topics, other which will focus more and study more elaboratively.
Yes. I'll do that. I'll do that.
And sir,
Thank you so
one
much.
question, sir. Like
Yes.
in the exam, how we would present the answer means for the questions that would be as per the study material or standard way.
Mr. Rabil, what I will do, I will, during the sixth hour, right? I'll try to complete each unit in one hour, and then sixth hour, I will tell you the how to answer your case studies, how to answer the questions, right? All that I will discuss at the end because I have to complete the portion. Then it will easy for me also and you also.
Okay, sir. So as of now, means we can go through our study material for details, right?
Yes. Go
Apart
through
from
the
what we
study
are discussing.
material because this Porter 5 is not exactly in your first chapter. It is given in the
Yeah.
second chapter,
Okay.
right? Okay, sure. See
Okay.
you in the next class. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning to all. I think this is the MBA second semester group, right? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the second semester. Okay, the subject what I'm going to handle is operations management. Any idea about the subject? Why this subject is kept in second semester? What is speciality of this subject?
Yes, ma'am. To maintain the supply chain equity.
To maintain supply chain equity. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Okay. So today's class will start with the introduction of operations management. So operations management, we all know management helps us to manage everything. So whether it is human resource management, marketing management. So speciality of operations management. What are the various things we learn under operations management is how to make your operations in your organization unique. So operations management. So we see one by one with the introduction. So it is any activity or any process that creates goods and provides services. It is relating to one additional thing what we have added from production management is it's an advancement of production management to operations management. So in that case, we'll be always using operations management, which will help us to have your operations. There is movement of materials, movement of machine. All those things should not be wasted, time wastage, money wastage. All those things will be avoided so that you will be improve your productivity and you will be developing organizational activities. So why to study operations management? It is a typical manufacturing company which will be concentrating on all the other activities. So manufacturing, it is not only concentrating of manufacturing is very important nowadays. You have to concentrate on services also. So operations management, it is a combination of finance, operations, and marketing. So management of systems or process that creates goods and to provide services. So we have to concentrate on all those things. And organization is not only uh, must give importance to production, should also give importance to the operations. So there is a transmission, that is, you will always transit the goods from input to the output. So sometimes the transformation process will be a lengthy process, or sometimes the transformation process will be a very short process. So transformation is conversion of your input into your output. So that conversion process might be lengthy or it might be short depending upon your facilities, what you have in the organization, and in what way you're going to carry out your business. So that is what we will see in this subject is operations is how we are going to operate with the available finance and how you're going to make your development of the organization in the society so that your business will be always kept in mind in the customer's mind. So some of the examples in operations, example in manufacturing, food processing. So you will be getting raw materials, vegetables, cleaning and clean vegetables. So process of converting your input and your converting and give it to the finished products, that will be conversion process. Basically, what are the things we need for conversion process? Any idea? What are the things we require for conversion process? For converting a raw material into a finished goods, what we need usually in a business?
Infrastructure and machinery.
Machines. We'll always say certain M's will be required. Men, materials, money, machines, matter. So all those things which will be helpful for conversion process will be always made available in the organization, always for converting your raw materials into finished products. So every time when you do a business, there is conversion. So what we are going to convert? We are going to convert your input into output. So this is an example for healthcare. You'll have input and you'll have an output. So output for an healthcare institution will be the cured patient, so healthy patient who has come as a patient in the organization, and we'll go for examination, investigation, checking all those things, and finally the output in healthcare sector will be saying the patient's healthy as compared to the time of admission. So that is what we have to do in every business will have a conversion. It's not only in healthcare, not only in food processing zone. Every business will have conversion process. So example for other business activities is for types of operations and examples. So for goods,
Ma'am, we are not able to view the screen completely. We just can read the types of operations. Below this is not visible.
it's not visible. 1 second. Is it visible now?
Yeah, ma'am, it is better now.
So these are the operations and examples relating to the operation which will be helpful for conversion process. So depending upon the operations, the output will be different from one sector to the other sector. So we cannot expect the same output for every. So for example, if I'm giving sugarcane, I'll be getting the output as sugarcane juice. So that is what we have to see what is your input given and what is the output it is extracted. That is what we are going to learn in operations management. What are the things we are going to give, how it is given, and what is received from the particular task. So that is an example. So why operations management? So it is very important to all business people and it is always interrelated activities. So you're going to relate finance with marketing and that is an intermediate activities of every organization is operations management activity. So this is always interrelated with other activities of the other organizations. That is even you can say it is interrelated with other functions what is happening in the organization. So operations cannot be uh, it will not be isolated, it will be related with all the activities what we do in the organization. So management of operations is very critical to create and maintain competitive advantage. So we have to be very um concerned about what we do. Why? Because if it is carried out without planning, then it will be wasting your money, it will be wasting your energy of the people who has carried out a work for you. So we have to be very careful with what we do and what we expect from the particular activity. So that is what why we are having operations management. So what are the basic three functions in a business is the business has got three main functions. One is operations or production, and the second one is finance or accounting, and the third one is marketing. So that is what the three main functions of business with operations. That is, they start business for producing or giving service. So without a product or without a service, there is no business. So no business has been started for giving anything without getting money. So we have started business either to manufacture or to assemble a product, either to service. So healthcare, education, transportation. So like service sector business also we can have, or otherwise we can have a value added product. That is value added is acting that is adding your operations, extra operations, so that you will be creating some business for some people. So sometimes you will be the main manufacturer, but you will be giving it on subcontracting also. The second function of business is finance. So you have to plan, we have to make availability of money, we have to do economic analysis of investment. So what is economic analysis of business? It is investment force, whether we are investing the right money in the right business or in the right proposal, whether this investment is going to get return at the right time. So what are the various funds made available and how it is used? So all those planning relating finance will be done in the second function of business. Third one is your marketing function. So marketing will be relating to selling, promoting. What is the difference between market and marketing?
Market is where your consumers are, and marketing is the manner how you promote or how you introduce your product to these consumers.
Yes, market is a place where you will make your buyer and the seller to meet, and marketing is a technique or strategy where you will be increasing your demand for the product in the market. This marketing is required by all companies.
Yes.
Why it is for all companies? For all companies mean I mean it is for existing branded companies or new companies.
For all. Both.
So if it is already you have branded and you have your own customers, so you'll have your own identification and reputation. But if it is a new company, unknown product, unknown marketer, then obviously it is compulsory for those people who have entered the market first time for selling the product. So that is what there is a close relationship between operations, marketing, and finance. So marketing will be making your product to sale, it will be promoting a product, it will be making your customers to know about the product, and you will be announcing that I myself has introduced this product into the market. So for all these things, we want marketing. So operations plus marketing plus finance is required for every business who is doing any type of business in the business world. So, what are the various interfaces of business operations? So, these are the various interfaces we have. Industrial engineering is relating to the technology what we use in conversion process, maintenance of your products and maintenance of your equipment, and public relations, personnel relating to HR. Accounting is maintenance of your finance, then purchasing of raw materials, purchasing of machine, and distribution of your product. So all these things are the interfaces in operation. So without these, you cannot complete the process of selling the product into the market. So engineering is technology, maintenance is maintaining your machines, maintaining your raw materials without any repair or without any wastage. All those things has to be concentrated frequently or always by by the businessman when he is doing business in the business world. Then up to this, do you have any doubt or am I going fast? Shall I proceed?
No, madam. No doubt. You can proceed.
Okay. Okay, the next one is when you are in the process of producing a product. So there comes this picture. This flowchart will give you what a product you want and how it is processed and what is the way of getting the final product. So it starts with designing the product, process planning, operations programming. That is step one, step two, step three. How many operations or how many steps you have. Then relating to the verification is whether you verify. That is verification is normally relating to the quality. See, generally speaking, when you're doing a business, we want only quality raw materials and quality product. No customer is ready to sacrifice something in the quality provided by the manufacturers to the customer. So when you give final product, even I, when I buy a soap, I will see the date of manufacturing and date of expiry, even if it is a normal soap which is going to spoil your health. So we are very sensitive nowadays with the date of expiry with relation to many products. So when you are starting a production process, we have to clarify that we are verified about the quality in everything, in the raw materials, in the production process, in use of skilled labors. All those things should be made available by the manufacturer on time. Then scheduling is the time when we are going to start your activities. So scheduling is the time when to start, when to complete, when to deliver the products, when to start purchasing your raw materials. All those things should be well planned by the organization. Then execution is when you're going to implement all those things what you have planned. Then finally, it will be getting you the process product which is manufactured. Yes. So in this picture, one main point we have to. Why voice is like this? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yes,
visible.
madam.
Okay. In this next topic, we are going to discuss is the second point given there is process planning. What is a process? Please mute your audio. So, process normally, when you say process, it is not a single step, it is a combination of various steps for getting the final task or final output what we want. And planning, normally, everybody knows planning is for the future. So, we are going to plan. Without planning, anything cannot be done in an organization. We have to plan. Why we have to plan an organization is once it is planned and scheduled, we cannot look back again. We have to proceed with implementation. So once you have planned, you have to start with your activities, what you've decided to implement in the next step. So next topic, we will move on to process planning. So what is process planning will be a combination of these three. So you'll design the process and you will make availability of the machines or tools or equipment what we want, and we will go for scheduling and production control. Production, normally when you are saying production, what is the difference? Why we have to keep production control?
As per the requirement of the product material to the consumer.
Products will be under control. Production materials will be under control. You're saying like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything when you use the term control, control is very important term to be used or to be learned by every owner. If there is no control, then we cannot get back anything what we want. So sometimes we say control can be of two types. It is under control and out of control. So outer control, if it is happening always, when I say my employees are out of control, so then I cannot be called as a very good leader. Why? Because the employee should be under my control. What I ask him to do, he has to do on time. Why? Because I'm paying his salary and he cannot say, I will not do this work. So everything, not only in employees aspect, we have to keep everything in under control is raw materials, equipment, your products which is produced, finished product. For example, the market expects the product to be supplied in the market is every day you have to send 100 products, but if you suddenly send 50 products out of 100, then market will not have the same demand for your product. So suddenly it changes for some of your competitors will be catching your gap between the demand and supply. So when you are having some lagging behind in your organization, that will have an impact in the market also. So that is why we have to give importance to process planning, design the process, then make availability of the process relating to the machines and tools what we want, and decide the time to be involved in relating to carrying out a process. What is process? Is process of conversion, process of making a product available in the market on time. So, process planning in various organization, what are the various problems we face in manufacturing industries in manufacturing? Yes. One second. One of you has to mute your audio, please.
Ma'am, you can mute the audio of the person.
No, I'm not able to. Not giving me the option.
I think director can able to do that.
What is his name?
Shiva Subramanian.
Shiva?
It seems Shiva Subramanian Shandya.
Shiva Subramaniam, sir. Please mute your audio. Yes.
Ma'am, please continue. He has
Okay,
muted.
okay. Okay, what I was telling is relating to your problems faced in manufacturing industry. So manufacturing industry, that's relating to process planning we are discussing. So when you are going for some problems in process planning, that's what I was telling. Once you have invested your money, you cannot get back the money which you have spent for starting your production process. So one main thing is instead of thinking again and again, you have to think many times before starting a production process. So operations process is not very easy for every organization to come start and finish within a second. So we have to make availability of the labors, we have to make availability of your machines, equipments, all those things. In production process, the main problems is related to the cost, availability of your materials, availability of machine, and availability of all the other things. So basically, when you are starting a production process, we have to plan prior and not planning on the time. That is on the spot after starting a machine. You should not be going for searching a raw material. You should not going for searching talented employees. So all those things should be properly planned, and we have to be getting ready. So that's why we always use just in time in every organization's operations. We have to be very clear that you are not wasting your money once your production is started. Then the next relating to your process planning is obviously we have to concentrate on the lead time. So lead time, what is lead time? The lead time is not normally the time taken for the completion of a particular task. So normally, when you are placing order to your suppliers for raw materials, what is the procedure we have to follow?
First, we can get offer from the supplier. After that, we can negotiate with them and then finalize and release the PO for them.
Yes, that is right. But normally, what we have to do is we should not place the order when you want the order. It should be placed prior. So before on, for example, if I want the raw materials tomorrow, I should not place the order today. And basically, in business world, can there is it right to depend only on the one supplier for your raw
No,
materials?
No, ma'am, no, ma'am. We have 3 to 4 suppliers
Yes,
for
we have to
alternates.
depend on more than at least more than one. We have to depend on two suppliers. So if we are dependent on only one supplier, if that supplier is not supplying the raw materials, your process of production will be completely stopped. Why? Because you'll be waiting for getting the raw materials from that particular supplier. He must be having some problem in his organization. So because of this problem, we should not create problem in our organization. So we have to think all these points. So we it's not just getting raw materials, creating product, selling to the market. That is not a very simple task in every organization. Even when you have an idea of doing a business, we have to be very clear in doing a business. Before that, we have to choose. For example, you all want to become a businessman. You want to become an entrepreneur. Will you all choose that is the product first, or you'll choose the area first?
The area, ma'am.
No, you should choose only the product.
The product.
Yes, you should choose only the product first. Why we have to choose the product first is product is very important. Say day in every day, in every second, one new entrepreneurs, one new business arises. So it is like a mushroom. Business comes into the business world, and more competitor. The number of competitions increases in every second. Uh, for example, you have a simple soap, that is the soap what we consume when you enter into departmental store. There are variety of soaps displayed in the departmental store. I might be using only one brand. It might be a Dove, it might be a Hammam. But what the other brands I have looked into the displays, the other people might be using it. It might be because of the price variation, quality, the features, what they like. So many things we have to look into the product. And that is also looked by the customers also into the product. So that is why when you are looking into the process planning, think about your process design and scheduling, and what are the various tools we require for every organization. So normally when you are concentrating on your process, we have to consider on production in small batches and production in mass production. What is the difference between mass production and batch production?
Batch production for the, yeah, the product like batch, ma'am. Batch A, batch B, batch B, some small quantity. Mass production will be continuous process of production.
Okay, what is the difference between job production and batch production, or both are same?
Job, yes. Job,
Job production and batch production. If there is mass production is producing in more bulk,
yes, ma'am.
producing 1 lakh units in one day or 1 lakh units in one week. That is mass production. Mass production, usually when you are in mass production, the cost of the product will be less or the cost of the product will be more.
Less only,
Will
ma'am.
be less, ma'am.
Be less. So product which is in mass production, it can be manufacturing scope, soaps. It might be the product what we use in everyday's life will be under mass production. But what is batch production? Batch production normally says it is small quantity. That is what is given there. It is producing in small quantity. We are manufacturing a product. So there is a difference between job production and batch production. So as one of my students said, yes, he said batch production is producing in batches. So when you are manufacturing in batches, some companies will be having batch production. So what they will do is they will producing in batches, but every time when they are producing, it will be the same product, but the quantity will be changing. First batch 1,000 products, second batch 500 products, third batch 300 products or 3,000 products. But in batches, the product will not change. But in job, every what is job production is it will be unique depending upon the customer. For example, if I am ordering job production, it will not be the same product for every time when you place order, but it will be in some quantities also. For example, what is job production? If I am giving an order to a manufacturer in a lathe, I am giving an order of manufacturing a screw. So, a screw manufacturer, I am giving an order. For example, I want a screw for a television. Is the television requiring screw? Is it going to have the same size? in all the parts, in all the areas?
No,
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 it will be
that's
different.
different.
So it might be different from one area. The top it will be lengthy. In the inside area it will be short. So sizes of the screw and the back area of the screw, the length of the screw might also vary. So for example, if I am going to have a 0.5 centimeter screw, that is my order. Somebody will come and order 0.25 centimeter screw. That will be called as job production. So job production, batch production, mass production, everything will be there, but you have to be very clear in what quantities we are going to manufacture the product. So in process planning, we have to know the answers of all these questions. How do we process? That is, how can we make it? How much does it cost? How long it will take to complete? How long it will take to complete is that will decide when you will be supplying the finished product into the market. That is what the answer for this question. How reliable will it be? That is, what is the quality? Whether it will be as per the expected quality or not, and how can we recycle it? Why we'll go for thinking recycling? Recycling happens in the organization or not?
Yes, ma'am, it will be happen, ma'am.
Yes, recycling will be there when manufacturing
Ma'am, screen is
can.
not visible, ma'am.
It's not visible. For others,
Not visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
so what I was telling, a candle, when you are manufacturing the candle, candle will be the product what you're manufacturing. For example, the candle when you have sent into the market, it is not possible to be sold. So what you can do is it will come back to your manufacturing unit. You can recycle it and you can make it as a colored candle or scented candle. There is scented candle. So the process sometimes we have to recycle it. So these are the questions for which you have to find out the answer is how can we make it? How can we make it is what is the production planning? How much it will cost? What is the expenditure? And when you will be completing it, what is the quality that is the product is going to get? And how can we recycle it? All these questions will be getting the answer in your process engineering. Then process plan. So also it is called as a route sheet. So routing and scheduling both are same. Route sheet is what is the first point, what is the second point. So the steps in process of converting your raw materials into your finished product will be discussed under process planning. The detailed plan, there is
Madam, screen is not visible properly.
now.
A little better, but still it is vertically displayed.
I think you can zoom in your screen, sir. Please try to zoom in your screen and see.
It's for everybody, ma'am.
This for everybody, the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Like previous only.
Half the screen is only visible, ma'am.
if I scroll like this, it is visible.
It is previous only.
Okay, wait.
Now it's better, ma'am.
Now it's better. Shall we continue with this?
Yes, ma'am. We
Not
can.
at all, ma'am. Not better. We can't see it.
No, either you can zoom in sessions, like it will be visible little bit because she need to tilt her phone, right? Might be
Next,
we can.
for tomorrow's class, I'll try to use my laptop. Please adjust for today's class.
No, ma'am. No problem. Nothing issue. We can adjust it.
Try to
There's
zoom
no
in your
problem.
screen.
Sushan, just try to zoom in. Like,
Shall I continue?
yeah, ma'am. You
So
can try.
operation process, there is process plan will be with the help of a operation, preparing your operation. See, remember why operations management subject is more important is it includes or it gives importance of your activities, what you do in conversion process. So we should not say that it is just like a conversion, give your raw materials into the machine will give you the output. So many prior activities you have to do before starting a machine, before switching on your machine. Even the machines are operated nowadays with your robots. Even for that, a human being is needed for operating all those activities. So process plan will be also called as a route sheet or operation sheet, which will be a detailed plan. Route, it includes route, processes, process parameters, machines and tools and fixtures. So how detailed the plan is depends on the application, how well you are good in preparing the operation. There is process planning. So what is operation? Operation is a process and it contains a description of an operation. It includes what are the various additional things we want for starting and ending the particular task of completing your conversion process from first stage to the last stage. So this is an example of route sheet. So route sheet will be explaining what is the stations in which you are going to operate, whether it is bill bottom. That is normally, for example, you are manufacturing a rice cooker. So rice cooker will be having a bill sheet. That is bill of material sheet. You'll call that. We see in detail in MRP. So bill of material sheet will be explaining what are the various spare parts you need for converting your raw materials to finished products. So this is a thing. That is what is the thing you're going to do in process planning is in process planning prepare an operation sheet which gives you all required things for starting your production. So that is what you have to do in your process planning. The next topic after your process planning is plant location. What is plant location? This one is factors affecting process plan selection. Process plan selection, you have to consider about the shape, tolerance, surface finish, size, material type, quantity, value of the product, emergency, urgency, manufacturing system itself. See, nowadays we all depend on man-made products or machine-made products.
Machine made products only, ma'am.
So machine-made products, and we are not supposed to say there is no man-made product. Even for some machine-made products, alternative man-made products are also available. But man-made products will not give the exact quantity what we want. If it is immediately needed, we cannot spend more time by the human being to create a new product by if it is a man-made product. But if it is a machine, switch on the machine, give the input, and the output can be received, and that can be sold more in number in the market. So these are the factors. If the shape is not good, if the machine is not properly maintained, and if the quality of the product is not as per the expectation, again you have to do the process from the first step to the last step. So these are the various points you have to keep in mind when you are designing a process for creating a product. So these are the various problems that will be arising at the time of your process planning. The next one is process planning classification. The process planning classification will be based upon all these. It can be a manual or it can be a computer aided. So it can be a manual or it can be computer aided or it can be automatic process planning. So manual is manually it is done without the help of any equipment or machines. Computer nowadays it is more advancement in computer field. We have more benefits received by the organization. Why? Because advancement in technology will make us advancement of quantity of products to be produced and sold in the market. Then, so that is the basic classification of process planning is divided into these manually, computer or automatic. What are the requirements in manual process? So manual process is we have to get the ability to interpret the engineering drawing. So you should be having engineering background, and you should be a person who has got knowledge about the computation of machine time and cost. What is the cost? How the resources has to be given? What are the tools and equipments we have to use for particular product? So you should have seen in some companies same ingredients or same steps of processing will be same for first two steps or two three four steps, but finally in the last step the production process will be deviated from one stage to the other stage. So for example, if you are going for a restaurant, you'll have the same batter of making a dosa, but what kind of dosa you have ordered, that makes us to receive on the plate. For example, I might be getting a masala dosa. Otherwise, the other person must be ordered with the there is some base, there is cashew or some mushroom masala dosas, whatever it is. But the basic batter is only the batter for dosa. That is what the difference you have in some manufacturing process. So we have to also concentrate on the various relating activities relating to your process planning, whether it is manual, computerized, or it is automatic. So, what are the various steps in process planning? Process, what is process? Process will be including your machines, including your schedule, including your design. So, these three will be the combination of process planning: design, scheduling, and your equipments or tools required for conversion. So, process planning, when you look into the step, study the overall shape of the part and study the drawing of the design. So, how it is planned. Then, finally, you have to know what are the various ingredients, what you want, and how to get the best raw material. How to get the best design will be given by the engineer who has planned for the design and set up the that is rough sequence of operation. Sequence is order of operation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, when you're climbing the steps, we cannot go to the fifth step without keeping the step in the first one. So sequence of operations has to be prepared rough so that we can get a trial. It will make us to complete the task on time or not. So that has to be continued by the person, production manager, who is in charge of production planning. So sequence, select the tools for operation, then select the equipments, fixtures for operating your machines, then evaluate the plan, then go for preparing the final plan. That is, final operation sheet will be ready for getting the implementation of production process. Then next one is computer aided. All technologies will be used in computer aided process planning. So computer aided means skills. Can reduce the skill required of a plan. Why? Because it is based upon the computer skills. So process planning time will be reduced. So more savings will be there in computer aided. So it can reduce both processing planning. Consistent plan can be created. More accurate plans, and it also increases productivity. What is difference between productivity and production?
Productivity may be
Production is
a process to produce the product.
Productivity
and
is a process of producing a product. Production,
production is the process to produce the goods, and productivity is the capacity or the quality of production.
productivity is a quality. Somewhat it's nearby. The production is the process of converting. Production is the product what you're producing. That is called as production. But productivity is you will have that is productivity is the comparison between the input and the output. It is a ratio between the output and the input. So what is the ratio between the output is, am I getting output equal to the input? Can you measure equally the output with input? So every companies will be measuring productivity. It is a ratio between the output and the input. So what, for example, if you give bundles of cotton, can we measure the output what we get from the cotton is a thread? Is this output and input is going to be the equal?
No, ma'am.
No. So that is what we are going to see in productivity is it is a ratio between the output and the input. So am I getting output equal to input or greater than the input or less than the input? That we have to find out for every product. So when we find out this measure, it will make us to develop in the coming future. So we can improve your production process, you can improve your quality. All those things will be because of finding out this measure of increasing your productivity will be possible in process planning. Then the next one in process in operations is your plant location. What is plant location is the area or the place where I'm going to start my business. Is it right? Is why this is important? The plant
Because
location
because the availability of raw material and distribution process is very important for the plant
place
location.
what you have selected should be suitable for everything. for your employees to reach, for your materials to reach, for your finished goods to reach your market. All those things has to be concentrated when you are selecting the place. So we will not select only on the basis of the money what is available. We should also consider the other place for selecting the plant location. So location refers to the region or the area where you're going to set up your factory, and what are the various factors affecting plant location. That is rules and regulations, availability of basic facilities, industries, whether they have industry in the particular area or not, then skilled forces, the employees what you require, whether they will be available in the particular area. What is the society infrastructure there, social environment, how it is there. All those things should be considered by a particular entrepreneur who is going to select a area. Then what are the other factors? It should be investor friendly. So the area what you have selected should be liked by your investor. It should be near to the market for selling a finished product. It should be near to the raw materials. It should be supporting from the other industries. For example, if you want spare parts from the other companies, that should also be present along with the company where you have started. So all these things should be available in the place where you're going to do your business. That is why plant location is very important. You have to select the area which you get all the other additional things what you want for doing a business should be available near to the place where you are going to set up your business. The next one is plant layout. What is the difference between plant layout and location? Location is the area, layout is the blueprint of the factory building. As we all prepare a blueprint for construction of a home, where your kitchen should be, where your hall should be, your parking area should be. Like this, every organization will have plant layout. So why plant layout is important? It is important for these three basic reasons. One is investment of money, whether we are investing for the right area or right structure, whether this structure will get more commitment. That is, whatever you have, the purpose for which you have invested, that should be received by you. So, right amount of profit should be repaid by properly designing your building. That is, plant layout is out. There is normally when you are designing a layout where you will keep the storing place. Warehouse will be at the end of the building or at the beginning of the building.
Beginning of the building.
So storing warehouse will be at the beginning of the building. Why? Because it will be in the entry gate. Next to the entry gate, if you have a godown, directly your transport vehicle will enter into the godown and it can be unloading the materials there, and it can directly go out near the gate. If it is far away and it is at the end of the building, it has to, there is the lorry will be standing near the gate, and some people will be involved for making the raw materials to move from the entry to the exit. So that way, there is a wastage of money there. So that is what you'll decide in layout is you will be considering your investment, whether your investments and money are not wasted, whether it will be helpful for achieving your long-term commitments, and what is the impact and efficiency you are going to get from your plant layout. So what are the factors affecting plant layout? So these are the various factors. Are you able to follow? Plant layout is a blueprint of your factory. So factors affecting plant layout is plant location, nature of product, plant environment, spatial requirements, then balance that is left out. Sometimes you will not construct the full area, you leave some areas for construction in the future. It can be used even for renovation or modification of any factory building. So these are the various factors which will be affecting your plant layout. Then the next one is the basic why we have to concentrate on plant layout. So the basic idea of designing a plant layout is it is to facilitate a smooth flow of work. So movement of material, movement of machine, movement of men, all those things has to be minimized. So when all these energy, if it is saved from all these areas, then that can be used for some other activity. So that is the main thing, which will be the objective of constructing your layout design. So it facilitates attainment of product or service quality. It can be helpful for using workers and space. That's what I said, movement will be minimized. Then to avoid bottlenecks too, to avoid the last minute hurry of work, this can be helpful. Then to minimize materials handling costs, eliminate unnecessary movement of workers, to minimize production time or customer service. So when all these things are properly planned, then there is no need of wasting anything in your production process. Then last one is to design for safety. Even safety measures, they should have given cylinders, that is gas cylinders, if it is needed in every organization. So that safety measures also to be planned in every organization when they are designing your plant layout. Next one is what are the types of plant layout. So there are various types. The first one is fixed position plant layout. Are you all able to understand the difference between plant layout and plant location?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Which should be given more concentration or which will be incurring more cost? Plant location, selection of location or designing plant layout?
Designing plant layout.
Designing plant layout. But designing plant layout, you are going to design only in the area which is bought for your organization.
Yes.
But for plant location, once you have spent your money and you have bought an area, if that area is not suitable for you, can you resell it again immediately?
No, not able
So you
to.
have to wait for reselling.
Some,
You might be getting some other area, but you have to wait for selling this land. Normally, we know land has got appreciation only, but that appreciation also we have to give some time for selling it. So once you are in the place of selection of location, you have to think about normally when you are designing. For example, if I'm finding an area where I have to find a location, first what comes in
industrial
your mind?
area.
In industrial area.
Yes, ma'am.
But in industrial area, you will not find space.
It depends on
Or
the
nearer
product,
to
man.
the industrial area.
In industrial area,
Nearer or surrounded by.
okay, near to the industrial area where other industries will be supporting.
Yes, ma'am.
But the cost of the land will be more.
Okay. Or otherwise, out of the city zones.
Out of the cities, rural area, or village. So, but first thing, what I should think is how much money I have.
Ah, yes, ma'am.
That is the thing which will decide the location to select the location. For
Yes.
example, I have invested 1 crore.
Okay.
I can buy 50 lakhs or 25 lakhs or 40 lakhs worth of area. That is your land.
Oh,
But if I've invested only 1 lakh, I cannot think about buying a land. I can go for leasing a land or getting a area and rent.
yes.
So location selection, it varies for what purpose you want.
Yes.
Just like that, we cannot go for search an area, search a land for me in this area. I want a place for doing a business. So selection of a plant location. First point, am I in requiring a land in urban area or rural area? But in
Okay.
rural area, land will be available plenty, but extra infrastructure facilities will not be available. Even the road for getting your raw materials to the place of your factory will not be available. You have to spend money for getting road available. So the point is what type of business you're going to do, where you want to have. So some points you should have seen that some manufacturer will have first two steps in one area, first two steps in production process in one area, and the other things in the other area, depending upon the knowledge availability of land. So plant layout and plant location are the more important topics to be considered by every manufacturers relating to the operational activities of every business. So in types of plant layout, it is first one is fixed position layout. So fixed position is it is fixed always. It will not move from one place to the other place. It will be fixed in one place. So three types of plant layout are there: fixed position, product oriented, and your combined layout. I think I will stop today now. I will not be able to continue to start with layout types. We'll continue this in tomorrow's class. Do you have any Any doubts to be clarified, you can ask about the topics what we have covered. Process planning, plant layout, plant location. Or any points if you want to share, you can share now. Are you all able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good morning, all of you.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, ma'am.
Very good afternoon. Let us see last class what we have studied in financial management. What we have
Yes,
studied.
madam.
Yes.
Ma'am, one thing I want to ask
Ah.
that in the book in Unit 1, we have the cost of capital and simulation of cost of capital, but in book the material is not available.
It is available in this your material.
No, madam. In what the books you have provided, the chapter on the index is available, but in depth it is not available.
No problem, no problem. That will be covered in some other thing. That we have revised the syllabus, so it might be in second unit. The cost of capital will be in the second unit. No problem. That.
And madam, second thing, the classes, the PCP classes will be uploaded on YouTube at what time, or because last few classes I have absent, so I want to.
No, not the second semester. I will see. I will check it whether is it uploaded or not in website. First semester it is uploaded. I know very well. Second semester I will check it. But it's not uploaded. I will send you one mail ID. One of you or a few of you send to my mail ID. I will attach all this PPT. We can share within your group. Okay. One or two of you.
Ma'am, please share your email ID so we can
Yes,
send you the mail.
definitely. I will share in this.
Okay, thank you.
A few of you, one or two, you share it. I will share all the PPT. You have, I think, some group, right? You can share among yourself. Okay, somebody you have given, I will share it. Instead of giving my mail ID, I will share it. Okay, let us start the class. I will do it later on. Okay. Let us see leverage. Last class we have studied that is capital budgeting. What are the techniques which are involved in the capital decision making? We have studied what are the methods are available: payback method, accounting rate of return method, NPV, net present value method, IRR, internal rate of return method, and profitability index method. These are the methods of evaluating your capital budgeting that we have studied, right? So let us see leverage. What is leverage? Leverage means what? Leverage means it is a employment of your asset. When your asset is asset or fund which are employed in your business, that will gives you fixed return or fixed, that may involve some fixed cost, that is called leverage, right? So that means the company's ability to utilize that fixed asset or a fixed cost bearing asset, or that sources fixed interest bearing fund which you are using into the business, that gives you, when that maximize the shareholders wealth maximization or shareholders earnings per share, when it goes high, that is called leverage, right? So that is the financial point of view. I have given definition here. Leverage means it is a ability to use fixed cost asset or funds which are increase the return on the returned EPS, earnings per share, that is return to its shareholder. If earnings less variable cost exceed the fixed cost, or earnings before interest and tax exceed the fixed return requirement, the leverage is called as favorable. That means what? When you are investing into the asset, land, plant and machinery, that is called fixed asset, right? So when you are investing into your fixed asset, that will bear the fixed cost, right? So that generate the produce the products that generates the profit, right? So when your fixed cost is greater, when your production, when it increases, the profitability will be increases. That profitability, that is called, that we used to say it is a operating leverage. When you are using fixed bearing interest of fund, fixed bearing interest of fund means what? Debentures or bonds, debt capital. When your debt capital, when you are increasing, automatically that gives you, that increases the earnings share, earnings per share, that is profitability of the to the equity shareholder when it is going high. So that is that leverage. When you are that proportion of debt equity mix is optimizing to increase the earnings of the shareholder, that is called financial leverage. So that is the explanation given here. See, if earnings less variable cost exceeds the fixed cost, so when profit, what you are earning to sales, that means sale profits, what you are earning less variable cost, that is it's called contribution, right? So contribution exceeds your fixed cost, that is profit, right? So that profit before interest and tax, that profit is that should exceed your interest and taxation that is available to the equity shareholder. That is called leverage. Favorable leverage is called favorable or unfavorable. According to that, you have to decide, right? So let us see what are its types: operating leverage, financial leverage, and combined leverage. I already explained you operating leverage. Operating leverage means it is associated with your investment activity. That means the asset which you are investing into the land, plant and machinery, that fixed bearing asset, right? So when the ability of using that fixed asset, that magnifying means what? Increasing the effect of changes in sales on its earnings before interest and tax. So before paying the interest and tax, profit, earnings available to the earning, that is profit earned by the company, that magnification of when you are utilizing your fixed expenditure bearing asset, that maximize your profitability, right? That is called operating leverage. See here, the operating leverage is associated with the investment activity. Operating leverage is defined as company's ability to utilize the fixed operating cost to magnify the effect of changes, in sales on its earnings before interest and taxes. So it consists of both the expenditure. There are two types of expenditure we can carry, that is for fixed cost and variable cost. What is fixed cost? What is variable cost? What is fixed cost? What is variable cost? Fixed cost is fixed, right? at any level of activity. There will not be any change whether you are increasing 1 unit of output or 100 unit of output, whatever it is, up to your level of capacity, it will be the same, right? But variable cost vary with the volume of output. When you are increasing 1 unit of output, the cost will be vary. That is called variable cost, right? So the company is said to have a high degree of operating leverage when it employs a great amount of fixed cost and similar amount of smaller amount of variable cost. So the company, when the company employs the fixed cost is greater and variable cost is lower, so that means they are having high degree of, that is called as high degree of operating leverage. So that is called as the degree of operating leverage depends upon the various cost structure. That is called operating leverage is determined. See the formula we have given here: contribution divided by operating profit. That is, operating profit means earnings before interest and tax. That is EBIT. That is called operating profit. Calculation of operating leverage is contribution divided by, contribution means what? Sales minus variable cost is called contribution, right? The degree of operating leverage is calculated based on the formula is given here. Percentage change in profit divided by percentage change in sales. So the percentage change in profit will be the effect of percentage change in sales. That is the degree of leverage, operating leverage. See here, I have given a small problem here. Sales for company A and company B, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs, fixed costs are given. So what is the expenditures are given for both? You have to find out what is the operating leverage. So contribution divided by operating leverage for company A, sales is 25 lakhs minus variable cost 12 lakhs 50,000. That means contribution is also given in your problem, 12 lakhs 50,000. Contribution divided by operating profit, that means before payment of interest and taxation, that is 5 lakhs 7 lakhs 50,000. So 12 lakhs 50,000 divided by 5 lakhs, 22 lakhs 50,000 divided by 7 lakhs 50,000. So operating leverage is in company A 2.5, company B is 3. So operating company leverage is company B is greater than the company A, right? So company B is here having a higher degree of operating risk. So when the company is operating proportionately with the sale, higher that is when the company deciding to increase their sale, the company B will be the higher profitability. When the less production, that is production is lower, company A will be the profitable. So the degree of operating leverage that indicates effect of profit on your shareholders, right? So this is the operating leverage. Next one is financial leverage. Financial leverage means we are utilizing debt, equity, capital in your business, right? So debt capital, which gives you the, you have to pay only the fixed bearing interest only to them. That fixed interest bearing interest also you can exempted from taxation. So it is when you are utilizing, what is the proportion of debt equity mix, which gives you the capital structure, maximize the shareholders wealth as well as decrease the value of cost of capital, right? So you have to see this ability to utilize. So it should be the, you can say, if there are two types of company, some company are having fixed mixing of 70% debt capital, 30% equity capital. Some company only 100% capital, equity capital. So how they are, what is their profitability? So which company will get more profit? When the company is going for profit will be the same, but earnings per share, equity shareholder share per share, when the which company gives you maximize, that is maximizing the shareholders will. So that is the, that company is having profitability or favorable financial leverage. That is called financial leverage. See here, the ability of a firm to utilize fixed financial charges, that is interest bearing asset, right? So fixed financial charges that magnify the effect of changes in EBIT. So when you are utilizing the fixed financial bearing, that is debt capital, that magnify the effect of changes in earnings per share to the equity shareholder, the effect of changes in EBIT on the earnings per share. So that involves to utilize the funds obtained at a fixed cost in the hope of increasing return to the shareholder. So ultimately, automatically, the equity earnings per share, when it is increasing, the financial leverage is profitable, right? The use of long-term fixed interest bearing debt and preference share capital along with the share capital is called financial leverage or trading on equity. That means when it is termed as trading on equity, when the company is having ability to utilize the fixed bearing fund which magnify the effect of changes on profit on its earnings per share. That is when the equity shareholder get maximizing their earnings per share. So that company is called as trading on equity. Okay. So trading on equity, I have given here some other thing, that is financial leverage is favorable or unfavorable depends upon the use of fixed cost fund. You have to take only the fixed, when you are utilizing the fixed cost fund, the financial leverage is favorable or unfavorable. Favorable financial leverage occurs when the company earn more on the assets purchased from the funds and fixed cost of their use. So for an example, sometimes fixed fund debentures or bond capital interest, when it is lower, there will be a more advantages for taxation eligibility, and when the company earning more profit, the earnings per share will also be high. But instead the debt capital, when it is incurring more interest, more rate of interest if it is bearing, so what will happen? Your profitability will be reduced. So the earnings per share goes to the shareholder will be lower. So that in that case, it will be an unfavorable situation, right? So that is the thing. When it is favorable, when the company earns more on the assets purchased with the fund, then the fixed cost of their utilization, that is positive financial leverage. Unfavorable financial leverage occurs when company does not earn profitability, when it is lower than the interest amount, does not earn as much as the funds cost. That is called negative financial leverage. See here, financial leverage formula is operating profit divided by, operating profit means earnings before interest and taxation. That is profit earned by the company divided by earnings available to the equity shareholder. It is PBT, earnings available to the equity shareholders. Earnings per share, that means, okay. What is the degree of financial leverage? Degree of financial leverage is indicated the percentage change in earnings, that is 2 year. So for 2-year financial leverage or 2-year operating leverage given, how to find out the degree of financial leverage? That is percentage change in earnings per share divided by percentage change in EBIT. Percentage change in EPS divided by percentage change in EBIT. That is the degree of financial leverage. Let us see this problem, you can understand. See here, equity share capital 1 lakh, 10% preference share capital, that is 1 lakh. 8% debentures, 1,25,000 is given. So present EBIT is 50,000. Calculate financial leverage, assuming the company is in 50% tax bracket. Taxation is given 50%. So let us calculate what is the profit here, sir, right? So earnings before interest and tax, it is given EBIT. EBIT is 50,000. Right? So interest, how much you have to pay to your debenture holder? 8% debenture holder, 1,25,000. So 1,25,000 into 8%, that is the interest you have to pay to your shareholder, debenture holder 10,000. So what is the available to your equity shareholder? EBIT is 40,000. 50,000 before payment of interest. After payment of interest is 40,000. Less income tax is 50%, so 20,000 goes. So earnings after payment of interest and taxation is 20,000. That is earnings available to the equity shareholder is 20,000. So now you calculate what is your financial leverage. Financial leverage is EBIT, before payment of interest and taxation. That is operating profit divided by EPS. Earnings, number of shareholder, that is here 1 lakh is given. Number of shares, that is 100 rupees if it is given. Earnings per share we can calculate, right? So here earnings per share or earnings before EBT, earnings after interest and tax. Interest only you have to deduct interest before taxation. Earnings before interest, sorry, after interest before taxation is 40,000. So what is the ratio between this thing? 1.25. That is the financial leverage. Earnings, operating profit divided by earnings available to the equity shareholder before taxation, that is 40,000, 1.25. So this is financial leverage. See here, combined leverage. Combined leverage, you have to take only small thing, financial leverage into operating leverage. That is called combined leverage. Combined leverage is nothing but operating leverage into financial leverage. When your operating leverage magnifies the effect of increasing the sales, that increase your profit on sales, that impact raise in your earnings per share or earnings to the available to the equity shareholder. So that is called combined leverage. See here the formula. This problem I have given here. Operating leverage you calculate, financial leverage. Combined leverage means operating leverage into financial leverage. That is called combined leverage. So what are the uses of your operating leverage? What are the uses of your financial leverage? I have given here theoretical part. You go through that. Let us go for next one, capital structure theories. There are a lot of theories are there. I will explain capital structure theories. That is under that 4 theories are there. We will go to that. These the small theoretical part you can study yourself. Go through these things, right? You don't want to waste your time. See here, what are the difference between operating leverage and financial leverage? That's all. Let us see. See here, next one, next chapter, capital structure theories. So capital structure theories. Capital structure means what? Debt equity mix. That is the capital structure of any company. The relationship between debt equity that you are going to study, that is important. That is called as capital structure. Right? The relationship between what is the proportions of debt equity, that mix ratio will give you a differentiation on your market value of the company and at the same time overall cost of capital. Some theories says that there is an impact of your proportions of debt equity capital impact on your market value of the share as well as overall cost of capital. Some theories says that any proportion of your debt equity mix that will not give any impact on your capital market value of the share as well as overall capital. So that we are going to study. What are the theories are saying that? What theories are saying? There are 4 theories are there. I will explain you one by one, right? So see here, optimum capital structure. What is the optimum capital structure? The optimum capital structure is the capital structure at which the weighted average cost of capital is minimum. That means overall cost of capital. Overall cost of capital should be minimum and value of the firm is maximum. That is called optimum capital structure. Every investor expectation is what? Maximizing their value, profitability and their their cost will be minimum, right? So the cost of capital should be minimum, but at the same time value of the firm should be maximum. That is called optimum capital structure, right? So optimum capital structure defined as capital structure or combination of debt to equity mix which leads to maximum value of the firm, right? So what are the objectives of capital structure? That is maximize the value of the firm and minimize the overall cost of capital. What are the forms of capital structure? Capital structure gives only equity share capital or equity and preference share capital or equity and debt debentures or bond capital or equity capital, preference capital, debentures, and then pluffing back of profit. That is your earnings, retained earnings, right? Earnings, retained earnings will also be, you can take it as a further investment. So this is the forms of your capital structure, right? This thing just have given, this structure is given for equity mix, debt equity mix, decide upon decision, how the financing decision is taken. The process I have given it, just you go through it later on, right? So let us see what are the factors which are determining the capital structure. There are various factors are influencing this theory part is very important. What are the factors which are influencing taking decision of capital structure, determining the capital structure? Leverage, that is leverage means it may be operating financial leverage. Financial leverage when financial leverage and then operating leverage that decides the capital debt. You can go for capital structure, debt to capital or more or less like that. So cost of capital will also be the deciding factor. So when your debt to capital cost is more, so in that case, you have to go for more equity capital. Suppose your cost of debt to capital is lesser, you can go for more percentage of your proportions of your debt to capital. That leverage and cost of capital gives you the major factor for influencing the capital structure decision making, and some of other factors also there. That is nature of business, size of the company, legal requirements, requirement of investor, government policy. These are the factors which are deciding the structure of your capital, right? Capital of the company. So what are the theories are there? I have given here. There are 4 theories are there: modern theory and traditional approach. Modern theory under that net income approach, net operating income approach, Modigliani and Miller approach. There are we can say as relevance theory or irrelevance theory. What is relevance theory? What is irrelevance theory? Relevance means what? Whether whatever be the proportions of your debt to equity mix, that will be the changes that magnify or that will be the effect of your changes in your value of the firm and overall cost of capital. That theory is called relevance theory. Traditional approach and net income approach are relevance theory. If you change your proportions of debt equity mix, automatically your value of the firm and then overall value of cost of the firm will be changed, right? Will also change. That is called relevance theory. Irrelevance theory, that is net operating income approach and Modigliani and Miller approach. These 2 theories explains that there is no difference between any proportion of debt equity mix that will not magnify, that will not be any effect on your value of the firm as well as overall cost of the capital. Let us see one by one this theory. First, let us study traditional approach. What is traditional approach? Says that it is here. This traditional approach is mixing of 2 theory. Modern theory we have told now, net income approach and net operating income approach. The mixing of these 2 theory, we can call it as it is a intermediate approach. Leave it. Now, what is traditional approach? What it explains. So when you are going for mix of debt, equity, capital, mixing, that is the capital structure, right? When mixing of what is the proportion of debt, equity, capital that increase the value of the firm by reducing overall cost of capital up to a certain level of debt. They are saying that when your proportions of debt equity capital, increasing your debt capital up to a certain level, it will be profitable. That means what? Your overall cost of capital will be lesser, but value of the firm will be greater up to a certain level. Beyond certain level, suppose your debt capital increases beyond certain level, it involves financial risk. So automatically it started reducing your value of the firm and increasing the overall cost of capital. That is the traditional approach. Traditional approach says the mix of debt equity capital can increase the value of the firm by reducing the overall cost of capital up to a certain level of debt. Up to a certain level of debt capital, the max value of the firm will be greater, overall cost of capital will be lesser. Beyond certain level, the cost of capital decreases only the responsible limit of financial leverage and when it reaching the minimum level. So beyond certain level, what will happen? Financial risk will be involved. That is why beyond certain level, it will be different. So there are some assumptions underlying this traditional approach. That is, there are only two sources of fund, debt and equity shares. The firm pays 100% of earning as dividend. So company earning 100% of its earning as a dividend, not 100% declared as a dividend. There is no, we are assuming that no retained earnings in that. So total assets are given and do not change. So total assets, what is given in that problem will not change, right? The total finance remains constant. So what is the total capital? 50 lakhs or 10 lakhs will be the same, remains same. It will not change, right? So the EBIT are not expected to grow. We are assuming that there is no growth of dividend, right? Growth of dividend is expected. So business risk remains constant and the firm has a perpetual life of the business. Investors behave rationally. So investors will behave rationally. So these are the assumptions underlying the traditional theory. See this problem, let us understand. So ABC Limited needs 30 lakhs for the installation of a new factory. The new factory expects to yield annual earnings before interest and tax, EBIT 5 lakhs. In choosing the financial plan, ABC Limited has an objective of maximizing equity per share, that is earnings per share. The company proposes to issue ordinary shares and raising debit of 3 lakhs and 10 lakhs and 15 lakhs. The current market price per share 250 and is expected to drop 200 if the funds are borrowed in excess of rupees 12 lakhs. Funds and be raised at the following rates. When you are buying debt capital 3 lakhs, up to 3 lakhs, interest rate is 8%. 3 lakhs to 12 lakhs, if you are borrowing from the market, the interest rate will be 10%. If you are going to borrow more than 12 lakhs, over the 12 lakhs, the interest rate will be 15%, right? So assume taxation rate is 50%. Let us calculate. The 3 alternatives are given. So we have to calculate under 3 alternatives. We have to decide up to how the proportions of debt equity mix gives you the maximizing the value of the firm and minimizing the overall cost of capital. Let us see. See 3 alternatives. Debt capital, when first alternative you are taking minimum debt, total how much you are required, installation 30 lakhs, right? The company proposes issuing ordinary shares, remaining thing ordinary shares. Debt capital for first choice 3 lakhs. Debt capital 10 lakhs, debt capital 15 lakhs. 3 alternatives they have given, right? So remaining amount they can go for issue of their equity capital, right? So see here, debt capital when it is going for 3 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. 3 alternatives are given. What is your profit? Earnings before interest and tax are given. 5 lakhs. EBIT is 5 lakhs. See here, 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs. So less interest. When you are going for 3 lakhs, interest rate is 8%. 8 threes are 24,000 interest. When you are going for 10 lakhs debt to capital, the interest rate is 10%. So here 1 lakh. 15, when you are going for 15 lakhs, interest rate is 15%, right? So 15% is how much it comes? 15 lakhs into 15%. You calculate it, that is 2 lakhs 25,000. So what is your earnings after interest and tax? That is 50% taxation. You calculate and deduct it. That is earnings after interest and tax. 2 lakhs 38,000, 2 lakhs 1 lakh 37,500. Okay. So what is the equity number of equity share capital? Total capital is required is 30 lakhs, right? So if you are going for debt to capital optionals 3 lakhs, remaining 27 lakhs will be the share capital, right? So second alternative 10 lakhs if you are going for debt to capital, remaining 20 lakhs will be the investment in the share capital, right? So third alternative, if you are going for 15 lakhs debt to capital, remaining 15 lakhs you can go for debt to capital mix is 15 lakhs, right? So now you have to calculate what is the earnings per share, right? Market per share is given in first case 250, that is the current market price per share 250 and is expected to drop 200 if the funds borrowed beyond 12 lakhs means the share market value of the share will be 200, right? So number of shares is you have to calculate. Par value is 100 rupees, right? So 27 lakhs divided by 100, that is number of, that is 250 per share. So 27 lakhs divided by 250, number of shares are 10,800. So 20 lakhs divided by 250, 8,000 shares. So 15 lakhs divided by 200, 7,500 shares. So what is the earnings per share? They can get it. Available profit is 2 lakhs 38,000. Is the earnings available to the equity shareholder, right? So available to the, what is the earnings per share? 2 lakhs 38,000 divided by number of shares, that is the earnings per share. And the first alternative earnings per share is 22 rupees 20 paise. And the second alternative earnings per share is 25 rupees. And the third alternative earnings per share is 18 rupees 33 paise. So now you have to see your traditional approach. What is that? The up to a certain level, debt equity mix, up to a certain level, the cost, earnings per share, that is value of the firm will be greater and overall cost of capital will be reduced. See here, first alternative 22 rupees. When your debt equity capital, proportion of debt to capital 10 lakhs, equity capital 20 lakhs. When it is raising up to this level, the profit earnings per share is greater. Instead of 22, 25 rupees the shareholder can get. But third alternative, if it goes beyond certain level, the financial risk is involved. So the market earnings per share is dropping to 18 rupees, right? So this is the traditional approach, right? Next one, net income approach. So net income approach, let us see, it is propounded by Duran. This approach is, it is a relevant theory. When the change in capital structure or proportions of debt equity mix, if there is a change, automatically it will change the value of the firm as well as overall cost of capital. According to this theory, it says using more debt to finance to reduce the overall cost of capital and increase the value of the firm. So when you are going for maximum debt to capital, that gives you the maximum increasing the value of your firm and reducing your overall cost of capital. That is the theory propounded by Duran, right? So what are the assumptions underlying this theory? 3 assumptions are underlying this theory. That is, there is no corporate taxes. Corporate taxes are not involved in this. And then cost of debt is less than the equity, cost of equity. So cost of the assumption is cost of equity capital is lesser than cost of debt capital. The use of debt does not change the risk of perception of investor. So investor's view point will be same. There is no change in that. Okay. This is the format for calculating value of the firm and on the basis of net income approach. That is net EBIT you have to take less interest on debenture. Then you have to find out what is the earnings available to the equity shareholder. Then you have to calculate equity capitalization rate. You have to find out what is the market value of equity, and then you can find out what is the value of your firm, right? So see, let us do one problem under this theory. You can understand. A company exceeds a net income 1 lakh rupees. It has 2,50,000, 8% debentures. The capital equality capitalization rate is 10%. Calculate the value of the firm and overall cost of capital. You have to ignore the tax. Under this the net income approach, ignoring the tax is the assumption, right? So if the debenture debts are increased to 4 lakhs, so what shall be the value of the firm and overall cost of capital? Right now, the net income is 1 lakh. Your debenture capital is 2,50,000. If you are increasing to 4 lakhs, what will be the effect? Right? First, let us calculate what at present value. Net income, you are earning 1 lakh rupees. Less at present, your debt capital is 2,50,000 into 8% interest rate. So what is less interest is calculate 2,50,000 into 8%, 20,000, right? So earnings after interest is 80,000 is the earnings available to the equity shareholder. Now you have to, how much capital, equity capital is not given. You have to find out. So equity capitalization rate is given 10%. That means profitability is 10%, means your capital is 100%. So you have to find out what is the equity capital. So market value of equity is 80,000 is the available to the your equity shareholders. 80,000 divided by 10%. What for 100%? The capital equity capital will be 8 lakhs, right? So market value of debenture is given in your problem 2,50,000. So total value of the firm is 10,50,000. Right now, value of the firm is 10,50,000. Let us calculate overall cost of capital. So how to calculate overall cost of capital? EBIT, earnings before interest and tax, that is 1 lakh, divided by value of the firm, that is called overall cost of capital. That is 1 lakh divided by 10,50,000, that is 9.52. Overall cost of capital is 9.52%. Your value of the firm is 10,50,000. Now let us increase the debt capital. Instead of 2,50,000, now you are raising fund through debt capital 4 lakhs. Now let us calculate what is the earnings per share or market value of the firm, total value of the firm, and then overall cost of capital. Same thing, net income 1 lakh. Instead of 2,50,000, you take 4 lakhs into 8%, that is 32,000. What is the profit available to the equity shareholder? 68,000. So equity capitalization rate is 10%. So what is the market value of equity? 68,000 divided by 10%. So equity capital will be 6,80,000. Market value of debenture is 4 lakhs. So value of the firm now it is 10,80,000. See here, previously market value of the firm we have calculated here 10,50,000. Now when you are increasing your debt capital, value of the total value of the firm increased 10,80,000. Overall cost of capital, now you calculate 1 lakh profit divided by market value of the firm is 10,80,000. So how much it is? Zero. So how much it is now? Overall cost of capital is 9.26%. So overall cost of capital is 9.26%. So now this operating, what is the theory of operating leverage? Sorry, net income approach. Under net income approach, when you are increasing your debt to capital, the value of the overall value of the firm will be greater, and at the same time, the overall cost of capital will be lesser. Do you understand this theory, net income approach? Net income approach is saying that when you are increasing your debt to capital in your capital structure, the value of the firm will be greater. Overall cost of capital will be lesser, right? So that is the net income approach. The next one, net operating income approach. Next, the same net operating income approach is also propounded by the same Durand. It is a irrelevance theory, right? So net income approach and traditional approach are relevance theory, right? So this theory is opposite of the net income approach. The capital structure decision is irrelevant when the valuation of the firm, when you are valuing the firm, market value will not be affected. Overall cost of capital will not be affected. Whatever be the proportion of debt equity mix, it will be there is no change in the market price as well as overall cost of capital. So what are the assumptions underlying this theory? The overall cost of capital remains constant. Overall cost of capital, there is no change, remains constant. There are no corporate taxes. The market capitalizes the value of the firm as a whole. Also, when the market value of the firm as what is the percentage of capital market value, it is the maximizes, right? So value of the firm, how to calculate? Earnings before interest and tax divided by cost of equity. So cost of equity, that is the capitalization of market capitalizes the value of the firm is the value of the firm is to be capitalized, right? So now let us see this problem, you can understand. X, Y, Z expects a net operating income 2 lakhs, 8 lakhs. It has 8 lakhs 6% debentures. So operating profit is income is 2 lakhs, debt to capital is 8 lakhs. The overall capitalization rate is 10%. The value of the firm and the equity capitalization rate according to the net income approach, net operating income approach, if the debentures debt is increased to 10 lakhs. So instead of 8 lakhs, if it is increased to 10 lakhs, so what will be the effect on value of the firm as well as overall cost of capital? See here, net operating income 2 lakhs, overall cost of capital is given 10%. Market value of the firm is EBIT divided by cost of capital. EBIT is given 2 lakhs. Overall cost of capital is 10%. So what is your total capital of the firm? So 2 lakhs divided by 10%, that is 20 lakhs. Okay. So market value of the firm is 20 lakhs. So what is your market value of debenture? Market value of debenture is 8 lakhs, right? So 8 lakhs, if you are deducting value of your equity capital will be 12 lakhs, right? So now you calculate what is the value of the firm, right? EBIT minus 1 divided by that is interest. EBIT minus interest divided by value of the firm minus debt capital, that is the equity capital value, right? So that is the equity capital, cost of capital, right? So now you calculate what is the cost of capital is 2 lakhs, your net income, net operating income 2 lakhs, less interest rate is given. How much is given? 6%. So 8 6 are 48,000 is interest, deduct it, right? So 20 lakhs minus debt capital is 8 lakhs. So what is your into 100? So what's your value of the firm is? Overall cost of capital is cost of equity, you can find out, that is 12.67%. The profit available to the equity shareholder 2 lakhs minus 48,000, so equity capital. So 12.67 is the cost of equity. So cost of equity into what is your proportion or weighted average overall cost of this statement is overall cost of capital. See here. Overall cost of capital, that means weighted average cost of capital. How to calculate? Your cost of equity is 12.67% into proportion of equity capital. What is your proportion? That is 12 lakhs. Your debt capital is 8 lakhs. 12 is to 8, right? So 12 by 20. That is the proportion of equity capital plus debt capital is cost of debt capital is 6% into what is its proportion? 8 by 20. So what is your cost of equity? 7.6% plus cost of debt is 2.4. So overall cost of capital is 10%. There is overall cost of capital. There is no change. See here, overall cost of capital is given in your problem is 10%. So here also 10%, right? So the value of the firm is, total value of the firm is 20 lakhs, right? So now let us change the cost of, proportions of debt capital. Instead of 8 lakhs, see here, 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs. Instead of 8 lakhs capital, let us take into 10 lakhs. So let us see the changes, right? So what is the 10 lakhs means what? So what's your proportion? Market value of the firm will be 20 lakhs. That remains change. It will not be no changes. So 2 lakhs is the earnings minus what is your interest? Rate is 6%. 6% into 10 lakhs. So 60,000. Instead of 48,000, interest will be 60,000. So here 20 lakhs total capital minus debt capital now 10 lakhs. So equity capital will be 10 lakhs. So 1,40,000 divided by 10 lakhs. So value of the equity capital, cost of equity capital is 14%, right? So what is the cost of KO? Cost of overall cost of capital is equity capital, cost of equity capital 14% into its proportion is 10 by 20. So 10 lakhs, right? So 10 by 20 plus 6% is the cost of debt capital into 10 by 20. That is one is equal, right? 50-50. So 10 by 20. So equity cost of capital is 7%. Cost of debt capital is 3%. So total cost of capital is 10%. So here there is no change. Whatever be the proportion of debt, whether 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs, whatever be the proportion of debt equity makes, the overall cost of capital here also 10%, here also 10%. So the value of the firm here also 20 lakhs, here also 20 lakhs. So there is no change on the value of the firm as well as overall cost of capital. This is the theory of net operating income approach. Do you understand? Net in operating income approach. It is a irrelevance theory. There is no change in value of firm and overall cost of capital in any proportion of debt equity mix. Do you understand? The next one, another irrelevance theory is Modigliani and Miller approach. So Modigliani and Miller approach, what they are saying that can we take 5 more minutes of your lunch time? No problem, no?
No problem.
Okay. Let me complete this theory. This capital structure theory will be completed, right? So Modigliani and Miller approach is stating that the financing decision of a firm does not affect the market value of the firm when in the perfect market condition. There are when the market condition is perfect, that means what all the investors are risk are same, rational. The assumptions underlying that, there are so many assumptions are there. What this Modigliani and Miller also says that whatever be the proportions of debt equity mix you are taking, there will not be any change in the total value of the firm as well as cost of the capital, overall cost of capital, there will not be no change, right? So what are the assumptions underlying under this theory, Modigliani and Miller? Same thing. There is a perfect market condition. There are no retained earnings. There are no corporate taxes will not be involved. right? So the investors are acting rationally. The dividend payout ratio is 100%. The business consists of the same level of business risk, right? So these are the assumptions underlying this theory. The value of the firm will be calculated. The formula is earnings before interest and tax divided by overall cost of capital. That is the value of the firm into 1 minus tax rate, where earnings before interest and tax overall cost of capital. Here, let us assume there is no taxation. Later on, we will take taxation, right? So see here, there are two firms A and B which are exactly identical, except that A does not use any debt financing capital. B is using 2,50,000 debt capital, 6% debentures in its financing. Both the firm have earnings before interest and taxation 75,000. Equity capitalization rate is 10%. So now we have to see, assuming corporate taxation is 50%, calculate the value of the firm, right? So see here, market value of the firm A, what is given now we have to calculate. So 75,000 is the earnings before interest and tax. Profit is on 75,000 divided by capitalization rate is 10%. So what is the value of the firm? Firm A is, both are identical firm only, but the A is no debenture capital, B is having 2,50,000 debenture capital. So value of the firm A 7,50,000, right? So now value of the firm B, we have to take what is the debt to capital is 2,50,000, right? So how to calculate equity capital? So value of the firm B is 2,50,000. So value now we have to calculate 7,50,000 is the overall value of the firm is 7,50,000. So tax rate 50%. So 2,50,000 is the debt financing. So tax 50% if you are eliminating, that is 1,25,000. So value of the firm now it is under debt equity capital 8,75,000. So now overall now there are some propositions are propounded under Modigliani and Miller theory. What is the proposition or underlying this theory is the arbitrage process. So the arbitrage process are involved in this proposition. What is that arbitrage? Arbitrage means what? Buying at a lower price in one market and selling it at higher prices in the another market. That is called arbitrage process. So in the same thing, those who are investing in the company A sell it off their investment and investing in the company B. Right? They will not their investment value will be the same, right? So the Modigliani and Miller says that illustrate through this arbitrage process, the value of the firm will be the same under homogeneous effect, right? So that is the behavior of investor will have the effect of increasing the share prices of the firm or lowering the capital, right? Let us assume, see this problem, you can understand this. Modigliani and Miller theory based upon the arbitrage process. That is, the investor in company A, they sell it off their investment and buying in the shares of company B. Their holdings, their profitability will be the same when they are in A company or B company, whatever it is. That is, they are arguing this theory through this arbitrage process. Let us see this problem. Assume there are two firms L and U, right? That is, L means company L is having only L company leverage, that means debt equity mix. Company U, unlevered company. This is levered company, this is unlevered company. Levered company means both debt equity capital, mixing of debt equity capital. Unlevered means only equity capital, right? So L and U are all respects same identical. L company has 5 lakhs debentures at a rate of 10%. So earnings before interest and tax, that is 1 lakh. Equity capitalization rate, KE is under L 16%. That of U company 12.5%. So problem is given. See here, net operating income, both the company are identical, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Interest on debenture under levered firm, that is 50,000. 5 lakhs into 10%, 50,000 interest you deducted. So earnings available to the equity shareholder is remaining 50,000 here, here 1 lakh. So what is the equity capitalization rate? So what capitalization means what? This 50,000 you have profit. So 50,000 here equity capitalization rate is given under levered company is 16%, here 12.5%. So now you take 350,000 divided by 0.16 or 16%. The market value of equity is 3,12,500. Here 1 lakh divided by 12.5%. The value of the firm is equity is 8 lakhs. Here you have to add value of debt capital 5 lakhs. Here there is no debt capital. So total it is 8 lakhs 12,500. Here 8 lakhs. So overall cost of capital is earnings before interest and tax, that is 1 lakh divided by value of the company 8 lakhs 12,500. Only 12.3%, 12.5%. It is not that much a thing. So now the same thing, the X is holding, I told you, arbitrage process. Now only it is applied. X investor X is holding 10% of share capital in company L. Its value, what is the value of the 10%? So value of the equity capital is 3,12,500. So 10% is 31,250, right? So now he wants to sell it of this L company 10% holding and invest in the company U. What is the value of 10% on company U if he wants to invest? Capital 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs in, means 10%, 80,000 is required, right? So if he sell off his company A shares, he can get only 31,000 to 1,250. Fractional value, leave it. 30,000 solidly he can get it. So if he wants to invest in company U, how much is required? 50,000 is required, right? That 50,000, if he is borrowing from the market at a rate of interest is 10%. So what will happen? 80,000 he can invest in the company U, right? So what is his profit in this company? If company L, what is his value? 30,000 shares. If he is buying rate is 10%, 50,000 he is buying, and interest. What is his earnings in the borrowings? Interest he has to pay 50,000 into 10%, 5,000 he has to pay. What is his value proportionate holding? 10%, right? So what he will have the same amount of what he has got in the, that is profit. 1 lakh is there, no? So what is his profit in company L? 10% means how much he might have? 50,000 into 10%, 5,000 is his earnings, right? So now he is investing 10% in company U. What will be his earnings? That is 1 lakh into his 10%, that is 10,000. His earnings will be 10,000. But he has to pay interest is 5,000 because 50,000 he got borrowed fund. 50,000 into 10% he has to pay interest. So how much will be his net earnings in company U? 5,000, right? So this is the arbitrage process. Investor in company L, he sell off his holding and invest in the company U. His profitability will be the same with the levered company. He is investing his money in levered company or unlevered company will be the same. So the Modigliani and Miller, he is assuming that by the arbitrage process, his capital structure will be the sustainable and personal leverage for the corporate leverage, right? He is explaining his theory. There is no any proportion of the debt to equity mix. There will not be any change in the value of the firm and overall cost of capital through this arbitrage process, right? Do you understand this Modigliani and Miller theory? Then another illustration I have given. go through this. You can understand this Modigliani and Miller theory, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next, okay, thank you. I'm going to wind up this class. Next class, we will see another chapter. Okay, you go through this. Whatever doubts arises, you note it down. Last class, we will discuss your doubts. Okay. I will share this PPT to somebody else. You can share among yourself. Okay. Okay, you can go for lunch, ma, for get ready for next class. ஹலோ, முடிச்சிட்டேன். ஆமா, பிபிடி சார். இதுல எப்படி பண்றதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. நம்ம மெயில தான் பண்ணணுமா? லிங்க் போட்டா அவங்க ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா வந்துருமா? ஆஹா. சரி, அப்ப டிரைவ்னா மத்த எல்லாமே பார்ப்பாங்கல்ல? இல்ல, சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே.